Captain Clubhouse for this one tonight. The Captains are just 3 outs away from capturing the first half championship in the Eastern Division. As Steve Reed will go to the mound to pitch here in the 9th inning. California beat Chicago tonight 5-3, another final. We'll have scores, highlights, locker room interviews, the celebration, all coming for you following the game tonight, both on radio and television. Bill Hasselman to lead it off here in the 9th inning. It'll be Hasselman, Ferris, and Burgess. Largest crowd of the season of over 6,800 in the ballpark tonight. Hasselman backs off from a pitch inside for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes on Bill Hasselman. There's a strike call. And it's a ball and a strike. Hasselman tonight has had 1 hit in 3 at-bats. Here's the pitch. Inside and low, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Captains leading here by a score of 9-1 as we play in the 9th. Ground ball, third base. Patterson gobbles it up, flips it to Aldretti. Out number 1 in the 9th. -2 and counting on the out department as Hasselman grounds out to Patterson at third.
Shortstop, Monty Ferris.
1 away for Monty Ferris.
I got to say Justin now, come on. Let's go, Reader.
Ferris tonight is 0 for 3. And the pitch to Ferris takes it inside for a ball.
Good.
1 ball to no strikes on Monty Ferris, batting here in the 9th inning. Ball 2, 2-0. Steve Reed in his 2nd inning of relief work. Hostetler, quite an evening tonight. Ball 3 inside, and now Reed is behind 3-0. .30 pitch. Low ball 4, and Ferris walks on 4 pitches. First walk that Reed has given up, the 2nd of the night. Only the 2nd of the night that the Captains have allowed. So Ferris down to first base with 1 away, and the batter will be Paco Burgess.
Third baseman Paco Burgess.
Burgess 0 for 3 this evening. Has flied to center, bounced to first, and grounded to second. Takes the first pitch for strike 1 call. Outfield around to the left on Burgess. Ferris, big lead at first. Already playing behind the bag with a 9-1 lead. Ground ball towards second base. Guerrero will field and throw to first. 2 out in the 9th inning. Two away in the 9th inning. And Tulsa's last hope coming to the plate in Paul Postier. Postier 0 for 3 tonight. Ferris at second, and Postier takes strike 1 call. $6,803 here tonight to watch this one. Fouled, and it's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. We're down to the final pitch now as Reed walks around the backside of the mound. A big, deep breath. Tugs on the bill of the cap. The stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Popped into toward right field. Guerrero's back, and the Captains win it. Guerrero makes the catch, and the Captains have won the first half Eastern Division title here tonight with a convincing 9-1 win over the Tulsa Drillers. And the celebration has begun. What a convincing win tonight for the Captains. As the Shreveport Captains have captured the Eastern Division title first half, and boy, have they ever done it the hard way. They came into this series against the Tulsa Drillers needing to win 5 out of 6, and they did just that, as the Captains have won 5 out of 6, capturing the final game here tonight in a convincing manner, a final score of 9-1 over the Tulsa Drillers. As the Captains continue to celebrate on the field and the shake of the hands, the high fives will head to the clubhouse as the crowd still here giving them a standing ovation. Well, the Captains have done it the hard way, coming into the series needing to win 5 out of 6, and they did just that. The only game that the Captains lost was here on Sunday night when Tulsa scored a run in the top of the 9th inning to win 5-4. And the Captains have won 5 out of 6, 9 runs, 15 hits, 4 errors for the Captains. The Tulsa Drillers, 1 run, 6 hits, and 2 errors. The winning pitcher, Tom Hostetler. Hostetler with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses. Terry Matthews will be the losing pitcher. Matthews is now 4-7 on the season. Time of the game, 3 hours and 2 minutes. And tonight's attendance, 6,803, the largest crowd of the season to watch the Captains play. So the celebration has started in that Shreveport locker room right now as the bubbly is starting to spray. And, well, that one will be a wild celebration for a while. And, of course, tomorrow night, or tomorrow will be an off day, so the guys can celebrate a little bit tonight. And, of course, tomorrow being the off day, the Captains will resume action on Thursday night as they start the second half of action against the Jackson Mets in Jackson. But that, of course, is no concern of them right now, as they will enjoy the celebration here tonight at Fairgrounds Field. 9-1, the final score here at Fairgrounds Field. Right now, let's go to the locker room, and here's Tommy Boris.
It's a champagne shower down here in the Captains locker room. The 1990 Eastern Division champions for the first half. The Shreveport Captains have just doused manager Bill Evers with a traditional champagne shower. And why not? The Captains had to do everything they had to do. They came into this Tulsa series having to win 5 out of 6 to win the division, and they did exactly that. They won 5 out of 6, losing only Sunday night, but tonight, Tom Hostetler winning the first game of the series way back on Thursday night, which seems like it was forever. Winning tonight, and now Bill Evers will speak to the team as he dries the champagne out of his eyes. A lot of very, very happy baseball players here, screaming, yelling. And now Bill Evers will speak to the crowd, to the Shreveport. Plenty of smiles all around here as the Captains have won the Eastern Division the first half of the 1990 season. The lockers are appropriately covered with plastic, as well they should. The champagne is flowing. Tony Taylor getting the early dousing.
Tommy, they got you working hard today.
He's looking good. Tony Teno's looking good. We'll start doing a few interviews at this time. We'll talk to some of the captains. We'll talk first to Dave Patterson if we can. Dave had a couple of hits tonight. Talk about the feeling of winning the first half.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, we had our backs to the wall. You know, we came out and played like we can. Hopefully we can go through the second half and relax and go out there and play like we really can. We played in a lot of tight situations, and we didn't come through. We didn't get the clutch hits. You know, we were talking 30 games ago. You know, we never should have been in that situation where we had to win 5 out of 6. You know, we're a good ball team. You know, we went out there and we showed what kind of team we were playing against these last 6 games.
This team really showed a lot of guts as Dave Patterson gets the shaving cream in the face. Yours truly got it last night. And Dave Patterson, the recipient tonight. We'll let you go back. You're celebrating right now. We'll try and talk to Rich Aldretti, who had 4 hits tonight. Rich, talk about having to do what this team had to do. You had to win 5 out of 6, and you did just that. Talk about the guts this team showed this last week.
Yeah, we showed a lot of guts, showed a lot of character. We pulled together as a team, I think. I think we had a lot of camaraderie in the last week.
Yeah! You're loving life right now.
We just let it happen, I think.
And more
we really had a good time. I think that's the most important thing.
You had 4 hits tonight. You really came out. You hit to all fields. Did you feel like you had to take charge here? This is pretty much a team effort, wasn't
It's a great team effort. I don't know if I had to take charge or anything. I just wanted to help the team win. That's all. Try to bear down and do everything I could to help the team win. It's a team effort. I'm not going to take full credit. Everybody contributed to get here, and finally we're here, and we all did the job the way we're supposed to.
Rich Aldretti with 4 hits tonight. Congratulations as the Captains win the first half of the 1990 season. Things seem to have calmed down a little bit. Here in the locker room, we'll try to run down a couple of other players. Remember, Tom Hostetler did the job tonight. Won the first game of this series back on Thursday, which seems like it's about 10 years ago. Won the game tonight, going 7 innings. And I'll take the champagne shower. And boy, that's cold. It's an awfully good domestic champagne. And it is quite cold. And I'll grab Steve Decker, who also does imitations if I can get a hold of him. Perhaps I can run down the shower by Dave Nitz, the longtime play-by-play voice of the Captains, who gets his traditional dunking, as well he should. We're having a good time here, as you might well imagine. Trying to watch the chords here. Tom Hostetler, of course, gets a lot of credit for winning 2 games. As soon as we get our mic situation straightened out. Quite a celebration going on. Back here. And now Dave Nitz has Todd Oaks, the pitching coach. Todd Oaks, the pitching coach.
Okay. Are we hot now? Okay. Todd Oaks, we were talking before the game about Tom Hostetler. You hope that you were able to get 6 innings out of him. He actually got more than 6 and got the ovation in the 8th inning.
Yeah, he sure did. He deserved that. He really battled his butt off. He had a lot of pitches early in the game. He he had 69 pitches after 3 innings, you know, which is too many pitches, but he sucked it up and got a big ground ball. To me, the key offensively or defensively was the ground ball double play against Hasselman. You know, if they get a couple runs right there, then they're back in the ball game.
You know, it looked like early in the ball game he was a little bit, throwing a lot of pitches and getting the ball up a little bit, but then he got things going, and of course the 4 runs really made a world of difference in that first inning.
Yeah, he was. That gave him a little comfort zone, and that was good for him because he's wanted to challenge people anyway. So with the lead like that, even more so, him and Deck, you know, really got together and said, hey, we're going to go right after him, and that's the way Haas pitches anyway. So it was good to get those 4 runs early. What happened, I think, as the game went on, he got tired, and he started getting his breaking ball across, which helped him stay out there a little bit longer.
How would you compare his outing tonight to Thursday night when he had the 12 strikeouts?
Well, I think he mixed his pitches a little bit better last time out. He basically went after him with a lot of fastballs tonight, which he does, but he got his breaking ball over a little bit more last time out and mixed his speeds a little bit better. Tonight he just went out in there and challenged him.
And of course, tonight, you know, with the fastball that he had going on Thursday night, he really didn't have to throw as many breaking pitches, did he?
No, he didn't really. Like I say, with that lead, and he was able. The thing was, he was able to locate his fastball too, in and out, and he spotted it real well, you know, and got ahead of people. So, you know, that's the way he likes to pitch, is just go right after him with his fastball.
What about the groin? It looked like he kind of pulled a groin there in that 1 inning. Was that the case?
Well, that's just Haas being a bad athlete right there. I mean, the guy's got a poor body the way it is, you know. So, you know, we hit him comebackers after comebackers, and he can't do the job. But, you know, he just didn't get off the ground. And what it was is his muscle tightened up on him a little bit. He started getting a muscle cramp, but it was no big deal. Haas was going to stay out there.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Congratulations. It was a great win. I thought a great come from behind effort by this ball club, knowing that they had to win 5 out of 6, and they did it here tonight.
Totally awesome. These guys stuck together and did the job. What was that Norwegian pitching coach name you had for me?
I can't remember. Sean something. What was?
No, what was that Norwegian pitching coach name you had for me?
I can't remember what it was now.
What was it?
I can't remember. Todd Oakes, who is the pitching coach for the Shreveport Captains, as we are in the locker room here at Fairgrounds Field as the Captains win it by a final score of 9-1. And visit with Bill Evers, the manager of the Shreveport Captains, and Tommy Morris has Bill right now.
Okay, Dave, thanks, Bill. You got the lead so early. You talked about playing this maybe a little more conservatively than usual, but you got ahead so early. That didn't really come into play, did it?
Well, it didn't, because we came out and scored 4 right away, so we could continue to be our aggressive selves. I thought the guys came out really with a mission to go out and win the championship, and we happened to swing the bats early and scored some runs, and Hostetler pitched outstanding. So I was really pleased with the way we played the whole series.
This team really showed a lot of guts in the series. I mean, you had to win 5 out of 6. There was no way around it. You either win 5 or you don't win the division. You did exactly that. Talk about the character this team showed in the last 6 days.
Well, the character of the club really showed in the 5 out of 6. A lot of guys didn't believe we could do it, but the players themselves and the staff, we believe we could do it, and you got to give a lot of credit to the players, because they went out and accomplished a big task. If we were to get odds in Vegas, I don't know how high they'd be.
So you won the first half now. That, of course, means that you'll host a home field advantage if someone else in the division wins the second half. So how important is it to win that first half? Oh, and I know that one hurt. I promise you that hurt. Let me rephrase the question. How do you feel right now?
Oh, I feel great. We're not going to try to let anybody win the second half. We'd like to host the championship series, and that's what our main goal will be the second half, to go out and win the second half. We really enjoyed playing before the big crowds, that the support of the fans, and we hope they continue to come out and support us, and we'll show them some good baseball. So continue to come out, and we the players and the staff really appreciate you coming out and supporting us.
Bill Evers, the manager of the Eastern Division champion Shreveport Captains, now to Dave Nitz on the other side of the locker room.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much. Tony Taylor visiting with her now. Tony, I'll tell you, you know, Bill Evers gives you a lot of credit with the hitters, the way you come in and work, but this has to be, you've been in a lot of celebrations, I know, and, you know, one celebration sometimes is like another, but you have a lot of young kids here, and that really makes a world of difference, knowing how hard they have worked throughout the first half of this season.
You know, this celebration had to be one of the best celebrations I ever have, because we came home and we had to win 5 games in a row to win the division. And I think the guy came over and they know they can do it. And they play good baseball. They wing after everybody. They swing the bat well. They play well. And I think we know we have a good team, and we went there and play the best we know how to play.
I thought the hitting tonight was just outstanding. How much difference getting 4 runs in the first inning, swinging the bat, how much difference does that make?
Super. I think that tonight was the best night we ever swing the bat. I think we win, and we was aggressive. And we went there, we never take a picture, we swing the bat the best we can.
You know, a lot of these players give you a lot of credit. I've talked to a lot of them, and the first thing they tell me about hitting, they say, Tony Taylor does this, Tony Taylor does that. What do you try to instill in these young guys' minds?
I don't think I can have so many credit. I think I give it the credit to them because they give me the time to work with them. And they listen, and we work together, and they make it easy for me. If they don't listen to me, they don't put no attention while we work on it, we never get nothing compromise. But I think they did a good job to listen and go to the ballpark and work every day the thing we want them to work with.
Let me ask you this. You've been in, like I say, we talked about being in the major leagues for so long. You know, what is the difference working with, say, young kids like this and being involved in Major League Baseball?
Number one, I think the biggest part is the concentration. You know, when you're in the big league, most of the ball players in the big league, they know what how to do. And their concentration is outstanding. When you work with young ball players, number one, you have to remind them to have a good concentration. And this is one thing you have to work with.
I'll tell you, it was an outstanding come from behind. You know, this ball club, knowing that they would have to win 5 out of 6 here at home against Tulsa, a team that was #1 in the league at that particular time. I think it's just a lot of credit to everybody involved.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to the ball club. They have a good team, and we beat a good ball club. And like I say, I think we never give up. We know we're going to win it. We play the best we can, and this is the best one.
Well, Tony, we appreciate your visiting with us. Congratulations. And I'll tell you, it was really just an outstanding win here tonight, I thought.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Tony Taylor is also the first base coach. We'll try to get Steve Decker, if we possibly can, in here. He's over here right now. Let's see if we can get Steve Decker right over this way. Trying to find Steve Decker. As the Captains have won it here by a final score of 9-1. The Captains do it tonight, of course, scoring the 4 runs in the first inning and going on to win it by a final score of 9-1. We'll be back with more activities from the clubhouse here at Fairgrounds Field in just one moment.
Frank, I send you for a Bud Light, and you bring back...
Well, Bud Light won't fill you up, never lets you down.
So, there are no men here, there's an unlimited supply of Bud Light, and we can never leave.
Correct.
Everything else is just a light.
We can live with that.
Yeah.
I've been in baseball for a long time, and guess who else has been in there pitching for 40 years? That's right, my friends from Whataburger. They've been cooking that great food since 1950, and today it's still made hot, fresh, and just the way you want it. For 40 years, Whataburger has been a family tradition, and just like a certain pitcher I know, they're not getting older, they're just getting better.
This graph shows that your car can drive better with Texaco's System 3 gasoline. In the BMW test, ordinary gasoline built up valve deposits, but System 3 actually took them away. Tank after tank, valves got cleaner and cleaner. As for performance, after 5 tanks, it gets even better.
All right, we're back here in the clubhouse with the Shreveport Captains victorious 9-1, visiting with Steve Decker. Dick, I'll tell you, it was awfully hot back there, and of course, you got hit on the foot, it looked like, late in the ball game. You just had to hang in there at that particular time, didn't you?
Yeah, basically. I think everybody's going to jump over and throw some shaving cream. You're right.
But anyway, let me get my glasses out of the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was very hot tonight. I've been battling the heat all week. I'm just trying to drink a lot of water and stay strong and do the best I can back there for the ball club.
What about Tom Hostetler? Well, I'm going to be visiting with him in a moment, but did he pitch as good a game as he did on Thursday night with that win?
Oh, yeah, he definitely established that he's going to get ahead with strikes, and he just overpowered the hitters, basically. He's a good pitcher.
Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
Steve Decker, the catcher for the Shreveport Captains. Right now, let's go with Tommy Boris, who has Steve Hecht, I believe, with him.
Steve Hecht has done it all year, but especially in the last 10 or 15 days. 3 hits tonight, Steve. Talk about how this team came together in the last week or so.
Well, I think other guys have said we've had good pitching at times and good hitting at times and good defense at times, but throughout the first half, we've had just very few times when it's all come together, and it came together real well right here towards the end when we needed it most.
Jim Anderson, the trainer, strikes again.
Thanks, Jim.
Talk about the last week. You had to win 5 of 6. There was no other way around it. You did exactly that. Talk about how this team faced adversity and took it on the chin.
Well, I think what happened was we just focused on one game at a time, just like we needed to, and we came in tonight with the chance. We're even up after we win 4 in a row, concentrated, got good pitching, and we got some good hitting, and 5 in a row sounds tough, but when you take it one at a time, it's a lot easier.
Steve Hecht, who had 3 hits tonight, and now we'll go over to Dave Nitz with the winning pitcher, Tom Hostetler. Dave?
All right, Tom Hostetler with us. Haas, a great outing. You like to be in championship battles like this, and right now, you're getting cooled off a little bit as Tom Hostetler and manager Bill Evers exchanging greetings here. But Haas, seriously, you had 12 strikeouts Thursday night. You beat this ball club. You came back, didn't have as many strikeouts, but I thought pitched just as good here tonight.
I don't know, I fell behind a lot, but I mean, we got a 4-run lead, 4 or 5-run lead. I'm just going to throw strikes. They're going to hit me, they're going to hit me. I mean, you come right after them.
Okay, I'm going to give you a towel here to wipe your eyes out while we. But Haas, you know, in the game, especially in that first inning, you looked like struggling a little bit, getting the ball up in the strike zone, and looked like you were falling behind. Was the heat really getting to you right then?
Yes, it was. You know, the first couple innings, I had all adrenaline. I was going and going and going, and we scored 4 or 5 runs, and then, you know, I got tired quick. I mean, way too quick. You know, I should be in shape, but I mean, like I said, we had 6-run lead. Hey, just throw strikes. You know, make them beat you.
You know, I guess when they came out, let you throw 1 pitch in the 8th inning, quite an appreciation from a great crowd of over 6,000 here tonight.
Yeah, that was nice. There we go again.
Okay. All right, let's go back to Tommy Boris.
I have Steve Reed here. Steve, talk about winning the first half.
Well, we knew we had to come in and win 5 out of 6, and Tulsa was, we came in and won the first 3, and from then on out, I mean, we knew that we could beat them. We lost the 4th game. We knew we could come back, you know, and win the next 2, and that's exactly what happened. Everybody, you know, you hear the cliche, everybody kind of bonding together at the right time or everything coming together. No, that's exactly what happened here. Everybody just got together, and you can tell everybody is the way it's going on in here. Everybody gets along great, and that's part of it, getting along with everybody and pulling together at the right time.
And now Dave Nitz has Steve Linhard. Dave?
All right, Steve Linhard with us. Steve, you've been involved in a lot of celebrations. I know you were at Oklahoma State. You won a lot of titles there and so forth. How do you compare this one? You've also been in the Cal League, too.
Well, I think we had a lot more in front of us this year than we've had in the past, you know, in my other teams, and we came back from you know, what I think a lot of people thought we were out of it, and
Well, I tell you, they like Linhart, I could tell. You look nice, Steve.
Well, I feel real good right now, Dave. I don't care what I have on me. But, no, it really feels great. We have a lot of guys that stick together, and we're really a team. You know, that's what makes a difference, I think, from other teams that I've been on. You know, we have a lot of guys that hang together, and we had to come back from so far behind, you know, and I think that's what makes it more sweet, you know, when you have to work harder. You know, we had to win 5 out of 6. We lost the one game, you know. It's just a great win for us, and I think it's going to help in the playoffs, you know, because we were under adversity, I can say it, but it's a great win for us.
Well, congratulations. I know you're always good to be part of a champion, isn't it?
It sure is nice when you can win it, you know, and do the best you can, and things go well.
All right, thank you very much. Steve Linhart. Let's go right now. Tommy Boris has Eric Johnson with him.
EJ, talk about how this team came down the stretch. You were 3.5 games behind just 6 days ago. Now you're the division champs.
It's amazing.
And we know that feels good.
Oh, man. Oof. Feels great. I mean, 6 days ago, people were counting us out. And they didn't think, you know, we could do it, and we just pulled together and started playing some team baseball, and took it, you know, a game at a time, inning at a time, and that fourth game was tough on us, and we lost, and we had to win the last 2, but we pulled together and played well.
Talk about the fact that this is not really a team of superstars. You really have everyone working together, don't you?
Thanks, Skip. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, Stevie Heck had a great series, and then, you know, Aldres won to bat well tonight, and then, you know, Deckers won to bat well, and we had some clutch performances, some really good pitching, and we played defense when we needed to, and I think that was the key for us to get good pitching and good defense. And we played well.
And now Dave Nitz has Steve Conley. Dave?
Well, you know, one of the reasons that the captains got into this championship game last night, Steve Conley, I'll tell you, a great outing for you, 3 innings last night. And Steve Conley is getting a little bit of a quick shave here right now. But anyway, Steve, I thought last night 3 innings of work had to be awfully good to keep this ball club in the works to get to the championship game. How's it feel?
Well, it feels really good right now. You know, I figured if we won last night's game, we were going to win tonight. You know, we had too much momentum, and I just love these guys so much.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Right now, let's go back to Tommy Boris.
An extra shipment has come in, so the celebrating will continue a little bit longer, and we'll be right back here in the captain's locker room after this commercial break.
Small Jean Genie snuck off to the city, strung out on lasers and slashback blazers, and ate all your razors while pulling. Shreveport Captains, hot dogs, home runs, everything you want to do. You got your first base grandstands, night game sports fans all gonna be there too.
1990 Shreveport Captains Baseball, brought to you by Doctors Hospital, Bone and Joint Clinic, Budweiser, by Whataburger, J. Williams Lincoln Mercury, Gatorade, Diesel Driving Academy, by Commercial National Bank, come grow with us, Richardson's Plumbing and Heating, KWKH Radio, Louisiana Downs, Texaco, star of the American Road, and by Taylor Rental Center. Tommy Boris here with Dave Nitz in the very jubilant Shreveport Captains locker room. Tonight, the Captains have drilled the Tulsa Drillers and have won the first half of the Eastern Division for 1990. Dave Nitz, it's been quite a first half.
I'll tell you, it really has, and the way the Captains came back and won this thing, knowing that they'd have to win 5 out of 6 here at home, and they did exactly what they needed to do. And of course, now we'll have the home field advantage if there's a playoff at the end of the year. And I'll tell you, I think this has to do nothing but good for this ball club now as they head into the second half, because they can play a little more relaxed right now, because because they will play 23 out of the next 29 games on the road.
You can say it any way you like, but the Captains had to win 5 of 6. They did just that, and as a result, they have won the Eastern Division first half. The second half will start day after tomorrow. We're going to send you home just one more time with the old champagne shower.
#1, Captain.
All right,
A
let's
tasty domestic champagne, I might add.
That's going to do it for tonight. We hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And the Captains will be back home on July the 3rd as they take on the Arkansas Travelers. A great one tonight. The Captains, the Eastern Division Championship winners in the first half. The final score, 9-1. Hope you've enjoyed it from Fairgrounds Field.
Shreveport Captains, hot dogs, home runs, everything you want to do. You got your first base grandstands, night games, sports fans all gonna be there too. At Fairgrounds Field you can have it all, so come on out, baby, let's play ball. Baseball love, ooh, baseball love. So bring your family and bring your glove. I got the Shreveport Captains baseball love.
It began in the Arizona desert. It continued through the highways and byways of the Texas League and culminated with a stunning championship in San Antonio. Here is the complete story of a title run and a title won from a season and a team you'll never forget.
Shreveport Captains, hot dogs, home runs, everything you want to do. You got your first base grandstands, night games, sports fans all gonna be there too.
Let it happen. The story of the 1990 Texas League champion Shreveport Captains.
Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, tonight it's Shreveport Captains baseball. Tonight the Shreveport Captains and the Tulsa Drillers.
And with that, history was made. Tuesday, April 10th, 1990, the Shreveport Captains versus the Tulsa Drillers, live from Tulsa on KSLA TV. The first time a Captains game has ever been carried by a network-affiliated television station. And what a game to start on. Behind the 6-inning, 5-strikeout performance by right-hander Rod Beck and 3 hits apiece by third baseman Dave Patterson and first baseman Rich Aldretti, the Caps rolled to an easy 11-2 drubbing of the Drillers. After a 3-1 start in Tulsa, the Caps came home to Fairgrounds Field and nearly 5,000 fans. Second baseman Juan Guerrero got things going with a 3-run blast over the left field fence. Catcher Steve Decker added 4 hits, and Shreveport drilled the Jackson Mets 14-2 in the home opener. April 20th saw another first, the first captain to be thrown out of a game. First base coach Tony Taylor apparently argued a little too much with the umpire on a close play at first and got the early exit. The next night saw the first extra inning game at Fairgrounds Field in 1990. In the 12th inning, bases loaded, 1 out, infield in. Steve Hecht gets the base hit, Juan Guerrero scores, Caps win, Caps win, Caps win. More excitement the next afternoon. Dave Patterson has the big day. A double, a triple, and this grand slam.
Hit high and deep to left field. Back on it goes Peltier at the warning track. It is gone. It's a grand slam home run for Dave Patterson. Oh, you gotta love that.
Just as big a performance by pitcher Rod Beck, who earns his 3rd win without a loss. He was also named Texas League Pitcher of the Week. Shreveport heads out to Little Rock and Jackson in first place after the first homestand of the year. The Captains would return to Fairgrounds Field in a battle royal for first place with Tulsa. This would be a short 5-gamer with Arkansas. Shreveport had won 7 of their last 8. a Sunday afternooner would provide plenty of offensive fireworks, and they came early too. Bottom of the first, catcher Steve Decker, hitting .370, showed us why.
It's one deep to left field. If it's fair, it's going, and you can forget about it. A 3-run home run for Steve Decker, and the Captains lead it 3-1.
People say that the bunt is a lost art. Not in Shreveport, Louisiana. Watch pitcher Jim Pena drop one down. Tom Ely scores 4-0. After Andres Santana triples in Jamie Cooper, Ted Wood lays the wood on another bunt. Santana hits the pay station, and the route is on. 9 Caps would get hits on the day. Santana had 3. And Jim Pena goes the distance for the first complete game by a starter. Shreveport 9, Arkansas 3. 2 days later, and Mayors John Hussey of Shreveport and George Dement of Bossier City throw out first pitches, but it's the Caps who stuff the ballot box, bases, in the first inning. Then home plate umpire George Ulrich gets voted out of office, literally, not once, but twice on consecutive pitches. Ulrich has to leave the game and get x-rays, but nothing's broken, except Arkansas spirit. Tom Ely's 2-run single gives the Caps a 3-0 lead. Hello to Larry Carter, who just got in town hours earlier for one strong inning of relief. Carter had been in Arizona rehabbing his injured right arm. Kevin Meyer gets the win, and the Caps roll 7-1. Next night, and it's Rich Aldretti who starts things off with a base hit, scoring Andres Santana in the first. Santana later hits the grounder to short that Greg Carmona boots. Steve Hecht scores. It's 4-0, and the fans start mapping out strategy. But hold on, Arkansas picks up 3 runs, and in the 9th, ace reliever Mark Dewey on for starter Mike Remlinger, 1 single and 2 walks, and the bases are loaded with 2 out.
1-0 pitch. Ground ball, shortstop. Santana will take it. Captains win. The first out at second base.
So, Remlinger with a W. Dewey gets the save. Caps 4, Travs 3, and this homestand ends with Shreveport back in first place. The Captains were more than happy to return to Fairgrounds Field after a not-so-nice 2-8 road trip. The now second-place Caps needed a boost and got one from catcher Steve Decker, who blasted a solo home run in the 5th inning against Wichita. Starter Jim Pena went nearly 8 innings before giving way to Mark Dewey in a tight spot. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning in a close game.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over, and Dewey gets the job done out of the bullpen.
Pena gets his 4th win, Dewey gets his 8th save, and the Caps get their first win over Wichita. The next night, and the front office says goodbye to longtime assistant general manager Jay Cicero on his way to New Orleans. Ace righty Rod Beck stymies the Wranglers on 1 hit through 6 innings. First baseman Rich Aldretti, well established at the plate, gives a great demonstration on how to play first. It went over so well, Aldo gives the fans another highlight. Pinch hitter Juan Guerrero crashes a 2-run homer to boost the Caps into the lead.
Next pitch, Tom Ely sends one airborne. But the real hitting star tonight was Eric Johnson, who went 3 for 4. And his reward, the traditional post-game interview shaving cream in the face. The San Antonio Missions make their only visitation and are rudely greeted with a Steve Decker double. Ted Wood triples, Decker scores, game tied at 2. Eric Johnson makes a great leaping catch in the 9th, and it's extra innings. In the 11th, Wood takes one for the team. Dave Patterson singles, Wood moves to second, and in steps Juan Guerrero.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Fastball lined into right center field. A base hit. Wood is going to try to score. Here is the throw. It's not going to be in time, and the Captains win it.
The next night, game 2 of a doubleheader, and the fireworks start early when Ted Wood bounces a double off the left field wall. Juan Guerrero scores, but Wood is called out at third. Manager Bill Evers thinks otherwise and gets the heave-ho by the umpire. A replay shows that Wood is more safe than out, but if you know baseball, you know that umpires are never wrong, even when they might be. With Evers getting the early shower, first base coach Tony Taylor becomes acting manager, and the team keeps on hitting. Starting pitcher Larry Carter finds that bunting could be hazardous to his health. Bases loaded, and Jamie Cooper singles in 2. It's now 4-0. Steve Hecht gets the base hit. Carter scores. Cooper is out at home, but it's 5-0. Rich Aldrete continues batting practice with the base wrap, scoring Hecht, and it's 6-0. But we'll give San Antonio one highlight, and it's a goodie too. In the 6th, 2 on, no outs, and Steve Hecht up. Watch this.
And a pitch. Here's a line drive, caught. They could have a triple play. There's 1 out. Yep, a triple play.
But the Caps win 7-1 anyway. Then the rains came and came. Do you think lightning doesn't strike twice? 2 straight games were washed away. Not to be made up either. Lightning actually struck again when Rod Beck got the call to go to AAA Phoenix. Bad break for the Caps, who will lose Beck's 2.51 earned run average and his 6-2 record, but a big break for Beck.
It's not always stats that help you move, and I've been held back before because of my age, and there's older guys in front of me, but hopefully maybe now I've stepped over the boundary of age and getting on my way to, on my career. It's exciting. I guess it really hasn't hit me yet. Maybe when I land in Phoenix and the whole thing starts, get a little bit more excited, and probably when I step out on the mound for the first time, it'll be a little nerves, but we'll handle it all right.
Is Rod Beck ready to move up? His career record in Shreveport, which was less than 1 full season, 13 wins, 5 losses. Yeah, he's ready. After a 2-4 trip to Arkansas, the Captains came home trailing Tulsa by 3 1/2 games with 13 left. But all 13, including the last 6 with the Drillers, were at Fairgrounds Field. The first game of the homestand, a Channel 12 game, saw the Jackson Mets come in. Shreveport catcher Steve Decker started things off with an RBI single in the first. Later, Dave Patterson tags a 2-run homer, and the Caps led 3-0. In the 7th, and Shreveport up 3-2, Rich Aldrete drove in 2 teammates with a base hit, and it was 5-2. Dave Patterson had 3 hits on the night as lefty Mike Remlinger picked up his 5th win. Great news from Little Rock as Tulsa lost a doubleheader, so the Caps only trailed the Drillers by 2 games. On Sunday night, and Rich Aldretti led off the 8th with a triple to ignite a captain's rally. Pinch hitter Marcus Owens steps in and does the job, ripping a double and scoring Aldretti to give Shreveport a 4-3 lead going into the 9th. And what a 9th it was, because it belonged to only one man, left fielder Steve Hecht. It began when Hecht dropped a fly ball. That runner eventually scored, and that tied the game. So it seemed that Hecht would wear the goat horns. But as fate would have it, Hecht led off the bottom of the 9th. And what did he do? He got a base hit. Ted Wood moved Hecht to second with a sacrifice bunt. Then, unbeknownst to everyone, especially manager Bill Evers, Hecht stole third base. It's a bad idea when you get caught, a great idea if you get in, and Hecht made it, so now he's in scoring position. Perfect, because the next batter was hot-hitting Steve Decker.
Hecht at third base represents the winning run on the pitch. Hit here in deep for center field. Carr drifting back. Hecht is going to tag. The catch is made. Here comes the throw. It's all the way. See, Captains win. Captains win it.
Steve Hecht. On this night, a one-man team. Caps 5, Jackson 4. Next night, Shreveport was behind 2-0 when Jamie Cooper triples in Juan Guerrero, and the Caps trailed 2-1. In the 5th, with Jackson up 3-1, Guerrero took one deep, and out of here. Later, Eric Johnson singled, and then Steve Hecht drives EJ in with a base wrap. The game is tied at 3. Ted Wood reached on an infield hit. Hecht scored, and the Caps led 4-3. In the 6th, Guerrero would get his 3rd hit of the night. After Eric Johnson singled in the 3rd, pitcher Kevin Meyer gets a hit. Guerrero scored, and Shreveport went up 5-3. Mark Dewey finished up for Meyer and earned his 11th save. Caps hold on 5-4. Thursday, June 14th, and the first-place Tulsa Drillers came in for the final showdown of the first half. The stage is clearly set. Shreveport has to win 5 of the 6 games with Tulsa in order to capture the Eastern Division title. And pitcher Tom Hostetler understood that better than anyone. Haas was on a K parade, striking out 9 batters in the first 5 innings. The Caps would score first when Dave Patterson singled in Steve Decker in the 4th. Rich Aldretti scored on a wild pitch, and it was 2-0. Juan Guerrero singled in Patterson, and it was a 3-run inning. Hostetler finished with 12 strikeouts in 7 innings and got the now expected post-game interview shaving cream in the face. Caps 3, Tulsa 2, and the lead was down to 2.5 with 5 games left. Next night, and Shreveport was up 3-2 in the 4th when Jamie Cooper roped an RBI double. Steve Hecht got one of his 4 hits on the night, doubling in Rich Aldretti. After Juan Guerrero singled, Tom Ely rips a 2-run homer, and the Caps rolled on. The final was 7-3, and first place was getting closer and closer. Shreveport now only a game and a half out with 4 to go. The following night saw Steve Hecht break up a scoreless game in the 5th. With 2 on, Hecht doubles, and that scored Rich Aldretti. That 2-bagger was Hecht's 6th hit in his last 6 at-bats. Eric Johnson singled, Heck scored, and the Caps went ahead by 2. That was all the support that Kevin Meyer would need. Meyer went the distance and only gave up 3 hits. Caps win 2-0, and there really is no lead now. It's 1/2 game and 3 games left. Tulsa would rebound to win on Sunday night, so it's even tighter than ever. 2 games left, and Shreveport was behind by a game and a half. The Caps have to win both, or it's all over. And it seemed to be all over only 5 minutes into the game when Tulsa's Dan Rohrmeyer blasted a 3-run homer. And the Caps trailed until the bottom of the 7th. With the score 3-1, Ted Wood led off with a double. Juan Guerrero's base hit scored Wood, and it was 3-2. Then with the bases loaded, Steve Heck does it again. A 2-run single, and the Caps go up 4-3. And it's not over yet. Steve Decker follows with a run-scoring single, and the Caps lead 5-3. Steve Reed and Mark Dewey finish in relief of Steve Conley, and it's down to a 1-game season. Caps trail by 1/2 game with 1 left. Whoever wins the next game wins the championship. Tuesday, June 19th, 6,803 jammed into Fairgrounds Field on a hot, steamy evening looking for a title match. But like most games of this magnitude, the end came early, and in this case, the end belonged to the captains. Bottom of the first, and leadoff hitter Andrea Santana reached on an error. Steve Heck singled, and Santana moved to third. Tulsa pitcher Terry Matthews, a native of Alexandria, Louisiana, by the way, uncorked a wild pitch, and Santana scored. 1-0 Caps. Steve Decker walked, and then Rich Aldretti moves into the batter's box.
Matthews ready to work, and the pitch. Ball is hit down the right field line. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Heck will score easily. Decker is headed toward third and in at second with a double. You called it just right. How about...
It's not over yet. Here's Dave Patterson.
Here's a ball hit the left center field. Back on it goes Threadgill. He's chasing. He won't catch up to it. 2 more runs will score. Decker and Aldretti, and Patterson at second base with a double, and it's 4-0 in favor of the captain. You gotta love that.
Shreveport showed the huge crowd and Tulsa that it meant business early. After 1 inning, the Caps lead 4-0. In the second, Andrea Santana singled, moved to second on Jamie Cooper's base hit. Then a double steal put both runners in scoring position, and Steve Hecht lofted a foul ball into left. But Santana doesn't need too much room on this night. He scored on the sacrifice fly, and after 2, it's Shreveport 5, Tulsa 0. Tom Hostetler, on the mound when the series began, was sharp again as he limited the Drillers to 4 hits and 1 run in 7 innings. There was no more fight in this Tulsa team, as it seemed to recognize the simple fact that the Shreveport machine would not be stopped. And just to put the point on the exclamation mark, the Caps opened the 8th inning with 5 straight hits. Eric Johnson, single. Cooper, single. Heck, double. Decker, double. Heck scores. Aldretti, single, his 4th hit of the night. When the smoke cleared, the Caps had a 9-1 lead, and all that was left was the celebrating.
The stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Popped into toward right field. Guerrero's back, and the captains win it. Guerrero makes the catch, and the captains have won the first half Eastern Division title here tonight with a convincing 9-1 win over the Tulsa Drillers. And the celebration has begun.
Disbelievers? Yeah, more than a few. But the Shreveport Captains, to a man, coaches Tony Taylor and Todd Oakes, manager Bill Evers, and trainer Jim Anderson, they never stop believing. And as a result, the Shreveport Captains are the Eastern Division champions for the first half of the 1990 Texas League season.
Right now.
To the Shreveport. After the champagne stopped flowing and the celebrating died down, reality quickly set in for the newly crowned champions. 3 key players from that title-winning team left. Starting pitcher Kevin Meyer, relief ace Mark Dewey, both were called up to AAA Phoenix. And Mr. Everything, infielder Steve Hecht, was part of a trade. So it was a completely different team that returned to Fairgrounds Field on July 3rd, following a 7-6 road trip to open the second half of the season. But it didn't take long for one of the newcomers to make his mark. Lefty Rafael Novoa, up from Class A, faced the Arkansas Travelers. Novoa struck out 10 Travs in 6 innings and looked sharp. The Caps had a 1-run lead when catcher Steve Decker singled in Jamie Cooper. Later, Dave Patterson rips a double, scoring Decker, and it was 3-0 Shreveport. In the 7th, heavy rains and lightning halted the game for more than 1 hour. When things finally dried out, Arkansas had rallied. In the top of the 9th, and the Caps clinging to a 4-3 lead, the bases are loaded. 2 out.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field. Cooper is there, and the Captains hang on and win it.
The 4th of July provided lots of color and pageantry to the homestand, but plenty more would be coming up the next night. A wonderful pitching duel between Dave Osteen of the Travs and Mike Remlinger of the Captains. Remlinger would hold Arkansas scoreless through 9 innings and only allowed 5 hits. Arkansas had a chance to break a scoreless tie in the top of the 9th when a runner reaches first, but Remlinger picks the runner off, and in the ensuing rundown, first baseman Rich Aldretti makes the tag for the out. On the next pitch, Remlinger gets the strikeout, and he's pumped. In the bottom of the 9th, 2 out, and Ted Wood gets a base hit. Here comes Steve Decker, and he gets a single. Dave Patterson is walked, and the bases are loaded for Rich Aldretti.
It's a scoreless game, bottom of the 9th. Osteen will work out of the stretch. The pitch to Aldretti. Hit deep to right field. Back when it goes Christian. He's at the warning track. It's a grand slam home run. And the Captains have won it. You've got to love it. You've got to love it. A grand slam home run by Rich Aldretti in the bottom of the 9th inning. Oh, brother.
The next night, a doubleheader, and in Game 2, which didn't start until 10:15, Steve Decker opens the action in the first with a 2-run single. Rich Aldretti follows with an RBI hit, and it's 3-0 Caps. Next inning, and it's shortstop Andreas Santana who gets a run-scoring single. On to the 4th, and Shreveport ahead by 1 run. Santana again with a double, scoring Tom Ely, and it's a 5-3 game. Yes, it was a long night for everyone. This game didn't end until 12:15 a.m., but the Captains got the win. Sunday, July 8th, and a milestone. Total attendance at Fairgrounds Field since it opened in 1986 went over the 1 million mark. And it was Rafael Novoa who looked like $1 million, getting early strikeouts and showing that he was on once again. In the fourth, no score, Jamie Cooper gets on with a single. Ted Wood follows with a bunt. No one can make the play, and 2 runners are on for catcher Steve Decker.
Cormier out of the stretch, and the pitch to Decker. Ball is hit high to right field. Back on it goes Hall, still going back, looks up. This ball is gone. It's a home run for Steve Decker. Oh, you gotta love that.
3 runs would be all the support that Novoa would need. The native New Yorker went the distance and earned his 3rd straight win. He had only allowed 1 earned run in those 3 games. Which brings us to the All-Star break. And no less than 5 Shreveport Captains made the team. Catcher Steve Decker, 4th in the league with a .330 average and leading the team with 54 runs batted in.
Oh, I'm happy about it. I've worked hard, had a good season so far, and things came together, and I was picked, luckily.
Were you surprised?
No, not really. I was in the top 5 in hitting in the league. I knew Bill Hansen was a good hitter, but I knew there'd be 2 catchers on the All-Star team, so not really.
Right fielder Ted Wood at .270 played in every game this year.
In a way, I guess it did surprise me a little bit because there's a lot of good outfielders that didn't make it, and to think that maybe that I was chosen above them, that's an honor.
Shortstop Andrea Santana, hitting .299, made the team despite missing more than a month due to injury.
I'm happy to go All-Star game. Thank you for selection shortstop All-Star game. I'm happy to go and candidate by San Francisco Giants. Thank you.
Now, you missed a whole month of the season. I mean, you must be a little surprised.
Yeah, because I'm work hard now. Tommy Taylor work and manager Bill Everett said you work hard, you go All-Star game, you go San Francisco Giants Big League. Thank you for everything.
Third baseman Dave Patterson with a .285 average and 74 hits.
Anytime, at the AA level and you make the All-Star team, the managers, they're selecting you and they're picking you as their top play, like for me, the top third baseman, in our division. So, you have to look at it as an honor, and you're playing with the best guys in the league.
Pitcher Jim Pena, 7 wins, 5 losses, and a 3.07 earned run average, was a bit surprised.
Actually, I thought maybe early I had a chance to get picked for the team, but as my last couple starts, they weren't too well, so I thought I might be on shaky ground, but I was surprised.
Managing the East team, Shreveport skipper Bill Evers.
Well, it's a great honor, and I have to attribute it to the way the players played, because that's how the managers selected. If you win the first half, you're happy. You happen to be the lucky one to go to the All-Star game and get the opportunity to manage, so it's all attributed to the players.
In the coaching box, Captains hitting coach Tony Taylor, who played in several All-Star games during his long career in the majors.
It's great to be in the All-Star. When you All-Star, always to be All-Star. When you go to the All-Star, it's something special. It's prestige. It's honor to be part of a star. When they pick the guy, the All-Star, have to pick the best players, the best manager, best coacher, the best people in baseball. That's the people go to the All-Star.
The Captains were more than happy to return home after a 2-8 road trip through the West and 5 1/2 games out of first. There were other losses, too. Catcher Marcus Owens and pitcher Brian Hickerson went up to Phoenix, replaced by outfielder Cash Beecham, and pitcher Timber Meade. The homestand began with a doubleheader with the Midland Angels. First inning, Ted Wood singles in Andres Santana. It's 1-0. Then a 90-minute rain delay. And when play resumed, Steve Decker crashed a fourth-inning homer, and it was 3-0 Shreveport. Still in the fourth, Tom Ely doubles in Dave Patterson and Juan Guerrero, and it's 5-0. In the fifth, Ted Wood drills a homer, and it's a real rout now. It's 6-0. But there's one more. Juan Guerrero's sixth-inning blast finishes Midland off. Final score, Caps 7, Angels 0. Jim Pena gets his 8th win, and for the first time this year, Shreveport has 3 homers in one game. Game 2 of the Twin Bill, and the homer barrage continues with the Caps behind by 1. Steve Decker belts a 2-run homer. In the second, with the score tied, newcomer Cash Beecham hits a solo job, and the Caps retake the lead 3-2. On to the sixth, Caps behind 4-3, and Jim McNamara singles in Cash Beecham, and it's tied, so on to extra innings. Trouble in the ninth, Midland loads the bases, 2 out, and Steve Linhart on the mound.
And Linhart's pitch, and Cerny grounds one slowly towards second base. Guerrero will take it and throw to first, and Midland will leave the bases loaded here in the ninth inning.
In the bottom of the ninth, Eric Johnson gets things started with a leadoff walk. Andres Santana puts down the sacrifice bunt, and EJ moves to second. With 2 out, Johnson still on second, and it's up to Steve Decker.
The stretch by Martinez and the pitch. Here's a ground ball slowly hit. Off the mound comes Martinez. Will throw to first. Throws it over him and safe and trying to score. And scoring is Johnson, and the Captains win.
Hallelujah!
Can you believe that, the way we win this one?
Caps win 5-4, sweep the doubleheader, climb to within 3 1/2 games of first place, and we can go home. The game ended at 1:25 a.m. Both teams rested up for the next game, which was a mere 16 hours later. Midland up by 1, 4th inning, and Cash Beecham singles in Steve Decker. In the 5th, after Juan Guerrero and Tom Ely singled, Eric Johnson rips a base hit up the middle, scoring Guerrero, and the Caps take a 2-1 lead. Jamie Cooper reached on a bunt single, and the bases are loaded for Ted Wood.
And the pitch to Wood. It's a deep to right field. This one's well up, and is it gone? It's a fair ball. A home run. Grand slam. Ted Wood. You gotta love it.
Shreveport went on to beat Midland 6-5 and trailed Jackson by 2.5 games in the Texas League East. Next night, and Shreveport scores first when Jamie Cooper singles in Eric Johnson, who scores on an error by the right fielder. Moments later, Rich Aldretti singles in Cooper, and it's 2-0. On to inning 7, and the Captains lead 2-1 when Jamie Cooper belts a leadoff home run, and the Caps go up 3-1. After Aldretti and Ted Wood single, Steve Decker ropes a double, scoring both, and the lead increases to 5-1. Behind Rafael Novoa, who picks up his 4th win, and the first Shreveport save by Timber Meade, the Caps pull to within a game and a half of first place. The famous Chicken would make his annual visit Saturday, July 28th during the El Paso series, but there wasn't a whole lot to cackle about. There was even less to crow about for the captains when pitcher Rafael Novoa got the call, but not to Phoenix. Novoa went all the way to San Francisco and, in fact, was the starting pitcher the next afternoon against Houston. Novoa pitched well, going 5 2/3 innings and giving up only 1 run and 6 hits. A couple of nights later, the captains against El Paso and a pitcher's duel found the locals behind 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th, and Ted Wood reached second on an error. Cash Beecham sacrifices Wood to third base. Dave Patterson lofts a fly ball to right field. Wood scores, and the game is tied at 1. In the 11th inning, 2 out, Wood and Beecham draw walks. Up comes Dave Patterson. He tied the game before. Can he win it now?
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hit toward right field. It's dropping. It will be a base hit. Here comes Wood. He's going to try to score. The throw. He is safe, and the Captains win it. The Captains win it on Dave Patterson's single.
Captains 2, El Paso 1, and the homestand ends with the home team winning 5 out of 9. Although the Captains would not win the second half title, a series with the eventual winner, Jackson, proved to be rather telling. The Mets won the first 3 games of the series, but Game 4 was a different story. Bottom of the 3rd, Shreveport behind 4-1, and the bases are loaded for Cash Beecham. The base hit here will make it 4-3.
Hits this one deep to left field. Back on it goes Dozier. It is up, and see you later. Grand slam home run, Cash Beecham. Oh, you gotta love that.
Bottom of the 4th, score tied at 5, and Andres Santana triples down into right field. After Eric Johnson walks, up comes Ted Wood, and out goes Ted Wood over the right field fence, a 3-run homer, and the Caps retake the lead for good, 8-5. Jackson cut the lead to 8-6, so at the bottom of the 8th, the Caps put this one away. Jim McNamara's base hit scored a run, making it 9-6. Next batter, Andres Santana did the very same thing. The score now, 10-6. Eric Johnson stepped up next. He doubled, and that scored another run. And now it's 11-6 Shreveport. And then Ted Wood got another shot.
So that San Antonio lead is back to 2 games over El Paso. Wood down the right field line. It's up, and it is, see you later, home run, Ted Wood. His second of the night, and the Captains lead it 13-6. You gotta love this one.
Wood's second long ball of the night finished off a 13-6 rout of the Mets. Shreveport would win the last 2 games of the series, both by routes, and maybe a pattern was established. Ted Wood certainly established a pattern, as he would have another 2-run homer night in Tulsa just a few days later. And for the week of August 20th through 26th, Wood would hit .350 with 4 homers, 14 RBI, and he scored 7 runs. For that, Ted Wood was named Minor League Player of the Week. There would be other honors for 3 other captains. Catcher Steve Decker was named to the Texas League's end-of-season All-Star team as one of the best receivers in the league. Third baseman Dave Patterson also made the All-Star team, too, as a utility player. Center fielder Jamie Cooper was voted by the fans as the most popular player on the team. Whoops, Steve Decker gets one more award, earning the Captain's Booster Club's Jack Enlow Award for his alert and aggressive play. Which brings us to the Eastern Division Championships, beginning Labor Day night, a best-of-3 series between the Caps, the first-half champs, and the Jackson Mets, the second-half winners. And the Caps waste no time showing the visitors who's boss. Second inning, 2 on, and Jamie Cooper rips a triple down the right field line, scoring Steve Decker and Dave Patterson. and the Caps go up 2-0. Pitcher Rod Beck follows with a base hit, scoring Cooper, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Captains, which held up until the fourth when former pro footballer turned baseballer DJ Dozier blasted a 3-run homer over the left field wall, tying the game at 3. But in the fifth, Shreveport would get even after Ted Wood and Steve Decker hit sacrifice flies that scored 2 runs and gave the Caps a 5-3 lead. Cash Beecham doubles. This 2-bagger scored Rich Aldretti and made the score 6-3 Caps. Want to see a playoff-type play? Watch Aldretti, bad shoulder and all, reach up and steal this line drive off the bat of Jackson catcher Alan Zinter. Yeah, it hurt a lot too, but this is the playoffs, and Aldretti stayed in the game. It's still tight in the 8th, 7-5 Captains lead when Andres Santana gets the triple, scoring both Jamie Cooper and Tom Ely. Caps now lead 9-5. A few moments later, Ted Wood singles in Santana, and it's 10-5. With the bases loaded, Cash Beecham cashes in with another triple, the second of the inning for the Caps, clearing the bases and clearing out the Mets. Hot? You bet it was. The Caps burned Jackson 13-5 to take a 1-0 lead in the series. Both Shreveport and Jackson are pitching strong, so you expected a well-pitched game sometime. Well, sometime came the next night as Texas League Pitcher of the Year Anthony Young battled Captains lefty Eric Gunderson in Game 2. And what a battle it was. Gundy went 8 powerful innings, no runs, no walks, 5 hits, and 9 strikeouts. But the Mets did take a 1-0 lead into the 9th due to a throwing error and base hit by Anthony Young, of all people. To the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Caps. With 1 out, Ted Wood hits a double off the left field fence. Tying run on second for Steve Decker, who hits the fly ball into center field. It's caught, but Wood alertly tags and moves to third. Tying run only 90 feet away with 2 out, and it's up to Cash Beecham.
As Young set to work to Beecham. Ground ball, first base, up with it. Jimenez races to the bag, safe, and the game is tied. Beecham is safe at first base, and a big argument at first base.
Jackson would argue the play, but to no avail. It's tied at 1 each. Young, who'd pitched brilliantly all night, then makes a fatal mistake. The pickoff attempt is wild, allowing Beecham to move to second. And now it's up to Dave Patterson to drive in the winning run. Patterson fell behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and then worked the count full.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle, center field. Here comes Beecham to the plate. The Captains have won the Eastern Division Championship. Dave Patterson has just singled up the middle, and the Captains are the Eastern Division champions of 1990. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it.
A sign in the locker room said, "Let it happen." Did it ever? Shreveport scores 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to win the game 2-1, and the Eastern Division Championship, sweeping Jackson 2 in a row. The city of Shreveport had not seen a Texas League Championship Series since 1976, so Friday, September 7th, 1990, is a date to remember. The Shreveport Captains hosted the San Antonio Missions in Game 1 of the Texas League Championship Series. Game 1, bottom of the 2nd, no score, and after catcher Steve Decker walked, Cash Beecham hit a grounder to third. Steve Finken makes a bad throw, Decker goes to third, Beecham pulls up at second. Dave Patterson gets an infield hit, Decker scores, Caps lead 1-0. On to the bottom of the 4th, and a single, sacrifice bunt, and 2 walks, and the bases are loaded. Mission pitcher Jamie McAndrew is called for a balk. Cash Beecham scores, and it's 2-0 Caps. Pitcher Rafael Novoa follows with a sac fly. Patterson scores, and it's 3-0. Bottom of the 5th, and Ted Wood crashes a solo homer. Now the score is 4-0. Shreveport leads. As they say, one good blast deserves another, so in the 6th, Juan Guerrero takes one downtown, and now it's 5-0 Caps. Then Jamie Cooper walks, and Andres Santana triples over the head of center fielder Tom Goodwin, easily scoring Cooper, and the Captains have a 6-0 lead. That would also be the final score, as starter Rafael Novoa struck out 7 in his 6 innings of work. Steve Leonard and Jim Pena finish up, and it's Shreveport getting the jump. The Caps lead the series 1-0. Game 2, and it was a pitcher's duel between Dan Opperman of San Antonio and Rod Beck of the Captains. In the 5th, the Missions picked up 1 run. After Jerry Brooks doubled, he was sacrificed to third, and Omar Rojas hit a sacrifice fly that Brooks scored on. Little did anyone know that this single run would be all the offense either team would get this night. In fact, the Captains went into the bottom of the 8th, still looking for its first hit. Opperman was perfect through 7 2/3 innings when Andres Santana came to the plate. Opperman goes to the belt, and the 0-1 pitch. Rounder to short, backhanded, nice play, fires over to first. The tag not in time, and that'll be your first base hit of the evening.
Interesting call. That is an interesting call because Karras obviously thinks he tagged Santana, and there officially goes the no-hitter. You really can't call it any other way. The throw did pull him off the bag, but Santana with his speed.
This play would remain controversial throughout the entire series. Opperman would hang on to his one-hitter, though, as the Missions won 1-0 and would even the series at a game each. Sunday, September 9th, Game 3 of the series and the final game at Fairgrounds Field for 1990. Not a good start for the home-standing Captains. 3 straight singles by San Antonio in the 2nd scored a run, and it was 1-0 Missions. Not for long, though, as Steve Decker led off the bottom half of the 2nd.
The pitch to him. Hit deep to left field. Back when it goes Rodriguez, and you can forget about it. This game is tied. Steve Decker has just tied it here in the 2nd inning with a line drive home run over the left field fence.
In the 4th, this Jerry Brooks single was misplayed by Jamie Cooper, and that allowed Henry Rodriguez to score. It was 2-1 Missions. Then Omar Rojas got an infield hit, scoring Brooks, and it was 3-1. Then came shortstop Luis Martinez.
And a pitch to Martinez. Ground ball. Santana shortstop will flip to second and throws it away. And over to third base goes Rojas. He's going to try to score. Here's Woods' throw to the plate, and Decker drops the ball, and another run scores, and it's 4-1.
In the bottom half of the 4th, Cash Beecham singled in Ted Wood, and the score was now 4-2. It soon became 4-3 when second baseman Juan Guerrero belted his 2nd homer of the series. This one came in the 5th inning. 6th inning now, and after Ted Wood doubled, Dave Patterson singled, Wood scored, and the Caps had rallied to tie the game at 4. Which the Missions quickly untied in the 7th when, after an Eddie Pye single, Henry Rodriguez followed with another single. Pye, however, pulled a surprise. He never hesitated as he rounded the bases and scored all the way from first base on a single. San Antonio 5, Shreveport 4. In the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Caps, and Jamie Cooper at the plate.
Scott ready to work in the 2-2 pitch. Hit toward left field. Rodriguez on the move, makes a dive. Cannot get it. It goes by him. Clipper is going to try for three. Here's the throw. He's got a triple. A half third, and I got it. Well, you got to love it.
Tying run on third. Andres Santana down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Third game of the Texas League Championship Series. The pitch. Line drive. Base hit. Game 5. 5-5 in the ninth. Santana has lined a single to left field to tie it here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Oh, you gotta love it.
In the 10th, Eddie Pye walked and was sacrificed to second. 2 out, and Steve Finken up.
Reed works to it. Ground ball, third base. Johnson can't get it. It will bounce off his glove and down into the bullpen. 1 run will score. Here comes another run. Headed toward the plate and out at the plate. There's Eric Karras. However, Pye scored.
This play by itself didn't appear to be much. After the game, though, Eddie Pye admitted that he never touched third base. Unfortunately for the Captains, no one saw it. San Antonio won 6-5 and headed back home with a 2-1 lead in the series. The Captains had lost the home field advantage. The final games of the series would be played at B.J. Keefe Stadium in San Antonio. And Game 4 on Tuesday, September 11th, started out poorly for the visiting Captains. The Mission scored in the first, third, and fifth innings off Tom Hostetler to lead 4-0 after 5. Shreveport answered with a run in the 6th when Andres Santana singled, stole second, and scored on a Steve Decker base hit. Not long afterward, the public address announcer told the crowd that tickets for tomorrow night's championship game are on sale now. A bit of overconfidence, perhaps. It did not go unnoticed in the Shreveport dugout either. In the 8th inning, Elenus Westbrooks pinch hit and got a double. 2 walks followed, and the bases were loaded for Cash Beecham.
Bases loaded, 2 out, and here's the 2-1 pitch. Hit toward left field, a base hit. Westbrooks will score. Wood is headed toward the plate. Here is the throw toward home, not in time. And 2 runs score as Beecham drives in a couple of runs, and that makes it 4-3.
After 8, San Antonio 4, Shreveport 3, and it ain't over yet. On to the 9th, Juan Guerrero singled. Eric Johnson sacrificed him to second with 1 out. Elenus Westbrooks gets the clutch single. Guerrero is held at third. Top of the order now, Andres Santana behind in the count 1-2, and Santana fouled off pitch. After pitch. After pitch. After pitch. After pitch. Until...
Runners at second and third, and the pitch. Line drive, right field, base hit. Here comes 1 run in. Westbrooks headed to the plate. The right fielder Brooks overruns the ball, and Santana's at second base, and the Captains lead it 5-4.
Just like Game 3, Santana came through again. Steve Reed polished off the Missions in the bottom of the 9th. The Captains won an unlikely game, 5-4, by scoring 4 times in the last 2 innings, and a sudden change took over. The momentum shifted dramatically in Shreveport's favor, and the confidence level had never been higher. San Antonio came out smoking in Game 5 with a 2-run single in the 2nd by Luis Martinez and back-to-back homers by Henry Rodriguez and Eric Karras. The Missions led 4-0 after 3, and then it came. Rain, rain, and more rain for more than an hour and a half of it. Finally, at 9:30, the game was called. A A break for the Caps? Maybe. They'd have to start all over again. Scratch the 2 homers, forget about the 4-0 lead. Nothing that happened this night would count. San Antonio observers would later remark that this rainout took what little momentum the Missions had right out. A dry field greeted both teams the next night, and exciting news greeted 4 Shreveport captains. The call from San Francisco came for catcher Steve Decker.
Oh, I was definitely excited. I was hoping I'd get a chance to go up. I just stayed here and did my best all season, and things turned out good for me.
Shortstop Andres Santana.
My first time go big league. I'm believing in Speed 20 big league, but I never played there in San Francisco. I'm very happy now.
Pitcher Eric Gunderson.
Good. I'm happy that I have an opportunity to get back up there again and maybe get a few innings in the time that I'm up there.
And pitcher Rafael Navoa.
All year I've been pretty much consistent except for the last month or so, and I just want to show them, why they chose to bring me up from A-ball to AA to the big leagues. I just want to do that.
Their teammates did what they could to end the series. Trailing 1-0 in the 4th, Decker doubled in Ted Wood, and that tied the game. 6th inning, and the game is broken wide open. Ted Wood started it off with a base hit. Decker walked, and Cash Beecham singled to load the bases for third baseman Dave Patterson.
And the 2-1 pitch to Patterson. Hit toward right field, slicing away from Brooks on the run. He will not be able to get it down into the corner. Wood will score. Here comes Decker. Beecham will go into third base as the throw comes back in, and it is 3-1 in favor of the Captains as Dave Patterson has just doubled down into the right field corner. That ball was slicing.
Juan Guerrero hit a sacrifice fly that scored Beecham, and it was 4-1. Pitcher Rod Beck helped himself out with a fielder's choice groundout, scoring Patterson. A 4-run inning, and the Caps up the lead to 5-1. Beck was masterful on the mound, allowing 7 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts in 8 innings. The final was 7-1 Shreveport, and it was almost over now. Caps up in the series 3-2, and the job ahead was very clear.
One more. Good job, Dad.
Yeah! One more would have to wait as heavy rain washed out Game 6 before it ever got started. The delays were pushing the series to the breaking point, but it was agreed by all that they would try to finish it during the upcoming weekend. Saturday, September 15th, 1990, cloudy and gray, but no rain, and also no Dave Patterson. He had to fly out to California to be with his wife, who was moments away from giving birth. Eric Johnson replaced Patterson at third base. First inning, 2 on, 2 out, and Cash Beecham lofted a long fly ball into left center field that was caught. End of threat. San Antonio had a similar threat in its half of the first, but a heads-up play by both pitcher Eric Gunderson and shortstop Andres Santana ended any scoring opportunity for the Missions. On to the 4th now, and after Rich Aldrete walked, up came Juan Guerrero.
Aldrete with a short lead. Guerrero, this one to deep left center field. This may have a chance. It's gone, baby. A 2-run homer for Juan Guerrero, and the Captains strike first.
Gunderson was brilliant and nearly unhittable as he struck out the side in the San Antonio 6th. Gundy seemed to say to the hitters, "Can't touch this." It was still 2-0 in the top of the 8th when Cash Beecham led things off.
Getting a little bit closer to the Texas League title. It's been 35 years. Beecham at the long drive into left field. This one's way out of here. Home run. Cash Beecham. And the Captains lead 3-0.
Gunderson went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts, and Steve Reed was given the task of wrapping it up. After striking out Henry Rodriguez, Eric Karras walks. Jerry Brooks singles. Karras moves to second. Then Steve Finkett walks. Bases loaded. 1 out. Adam Brown pinch hitting for the Missions.
Swung on. Ground ball already. He'll make the tag at first. The run will score.
Runners on second and third. 2 out. Omar Rojas up. And it's all out there now.
Reed in the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And into left field. Beats him to run it down. There it is. It's all over. The Captains win. The Captains have won. He gave it away, but it wasn't enough. There's jubilation in San Antonio as the Shreveport Captains have won the 1990 Texas League Championship.
On behalf of the entire Mission organization, for one of the most exciting Mission seasons ever, we're grateful for your support, and we hope you'll be back with us again for another exciting season. Texas League San Antonio Mission baseball next season in 1991.
It's a great end to the season, you know. Coming in here and winning 3 straight, you know, from a great ball club.
Shreveport, this is for you, baby. You guys have waited a long time. This is for Shreveport.
How about that? Fantastic. It's kind of having to sink in, really. Dave Patterson, we did it for you, baby. Good luck with your baby. Say hello to Christy. Love you. Champs, we win. We win.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, baby. Something wrong. Way to go, Rodney.
Hey, good work. Get out of here, girls.
Go ahead, Mother. Go ahead, Tio.
Wow. How does it feel to know that you just won the championship? Wins 3 in a row. Hey, I need a beer.
There you are. Hey, I just want to say one thing. You guys worked hard for this, put out 100% all year. People didn't believe we could do this, but we knew we could, and we made it the hard way. You battled back all year. You guys will be proud of yourselves. It's something we're going to wear forever, the rest of our lives, and we'll remember this championship because we were one as a team. And that's something to be proud of. You guys, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Couldn't be more happy.
We knew it was 1 in a million. It was such a long shot, but somehow we got here together. And who knows what will happen? Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anything. If we keep getting better, and we keep on believing. When you put your heart in it, it can take you anywhere. Who's to say that we can't make it? It's the same dream that we share. When This road was so long and winding. It was such a hard road, but we couldn't stop once we had started. We were always getting closer. Suddenly it happened. Suddenly it happened. Suddenly, a chance in a lifetime. Chance in a lifetime. Now we're gonna take it. We can make it. When you put your heart in it, it can take you anywhere. Who's to say that we can't make it? It's the same dream that we share. Keep on believing. Keep on believing. When you put your heart in it, when you put your heart, it can take you anywhere. Who's to say that we can't make it? It's the same dream that we share. When you put your heart in it, it can take you
You guys will be proud of yourselves. This is something we're going to wear forever, the rest of our lives, and we'll remember this championship because we were one as a team. And that's something to be proud of. You guys, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Couldn't be more happy.
Manager Bill Evers made that speech back in September, moments after the Shreveport Captains did what most people thought was impossible. The Caps went to San Antonio behind 2-1 in a best-of-7 Texas League Championship Series and immediately won 3 straight games in San Antonio against the team with the best overall record in the league. They said it couldn't be done, but it was. As a result, the 1990 Shreveport Captains won the Texas League Championship, the first title for the area since 1955.